Were you blessed by good luck or what nature had given you? Is this distinction binding or do you get carried away? This is a difficult question as there is always a burden, a weight, as you always feel guilty when you don't work, because you know inside that you have a lot to give. In other words, I'm happy that I feel this way, but it is still in some respects a grievance. Balance is static. If you balance something out, it doesn't move. I prefer to be active to let my feelings out as much as possible. You have very strong Greek roots. Your mother's from Elissona and your father from Grevena. They left Greece and took you to America. Do you make many things Greek? In my case, yes, because we were brought up with the knowledge that we were Greeks and that the others were American, even though I actually have American citizenship. In other words, I was brought up in a house which was so Greek. As you know, somehow the Greeks who left Greece have remained in a kind of, let's say, frozen reality. They're not the contemporary Greeks whose language changes, using thousands of slang words and expressions. They are the authentic Greeks, so we grew up with a very Greek mentality. Oh, is that so? As a thought, have you been able to move on from the influence of Lucas Tsiaras? When I met Tsiaras, I realised I could do it too. That is to say, as an artist, to find my way in life. For that, Tsiaras was a good example, an avant-garde artist. The flower bears a fruit, eh? Yes, he really was an example. During his everyday life as his assistant, I saw how he worked. Do you prefer easy or difficult tasks? If it doesn't come automatically, it's not easy. Are you a poet who uses colour and design, or are you a conjectural creator who expresses his poetic thoughts? I myself think that everything comes from poetry, as the ultimate art. Apart from at school, you know, when you have teachers who cannot follow their own careers, talk about it, but never do anything. He who teaches cannot create, something like that. In your eyes, is the horse a vehicle to depart on, or a vehicle to love? Yes, yes, how an artist arrives at a subject is strange, really. It just happens. It's par for the course. In 1981, a man came to see me and bought some of my photographs. He also asked me to go to Mexico with his family to see an enormous farm where he kept horses. Well, I went and started to learn how to ride, photographing these animals now and then. I'm going back about 25 years here. I never had the horse as a symbol in my mind though. When I returned, I started to draw the horses, which I'd seen, and slowly but surely it became a theme. How I went to Mexico to find my inspiration. My own name, in fact, Philippus, actually means friend of the horse. Who knows, perhaps it had to be this way. Are the words or the sounds accompanying a word what gets the message across? That is to say, if we say a word many times over, does it lose its meaning? I started off in music, so it's slightly different for me. As a classical musician, music consequently led me to words which then led me to the image. That is to say, I started with music, then sound, and lastly image. Does your image have sound? Very much. Colour actually speaks to me. Which colour for you has music and harmony? Black. Black the most of all. Is black the completion of an unknown colour, or is it the base for light to come out of, such as the colour white? The most wonderful light comes out of black, all of nature. Philip, when you think of new ideas, do you consider them as captured images of your life, or as dreams which you've dreamt or thought up? I think one always has a store of information, which every so often brings out new instalments. You never start with a clean slate, but you're always dependent on those thoughts which you have accumulated. How they mix, interact and talk to one another is poetry. What would Rembrandt have said if he'd seen the social climber, I asked myself? He would definitely have found it strange. He liked women too, and the social climber with her female court shoes he would have liked a lot. Your own shoes, which are standing on a pistil, what are they? It's the woman's shoe, which has two parts, the female and the male, namely the point that is the phallus as well as the pistil, which is violent and could harm you. The other part is the open one, which fits the shape of a vase, depicting a woman or feminism. In this I found a whole world. You can be killed by love as easily as you can be killed by a woman's shoe. Love, metamorphosized in the shape of a shoe, is the woman's sex symbol. It cuts like a knife. Do only tears come from a trauma, a traumatic experience, or laughter too? It depends. If you're a woman and you think that society has put you into a mould which you can't escape from, it's bad. But for us men, generally speaking, as a phenomenon, is pain something which we need to avoid, or do we sometimes crave it? No, I think it's somewhat normal. All of nature's made up of this. Birth, the creation of man, is born out of an unbearable pain. It's said that the baby who is born feels more pain than its mother who's giving birth. Is pain perhaps the filter of life? In other words, the first slap in the face. Of course, the baby doesn't want to leave the safety of the womb to insecurity, because security makes you lazy. Then with laziness comes a guilty conscience. So consequently, you feel that dead weight of responsibility. Do you create better when you're active or when you're relaxed? Energy is the mechanical appliance, the turbine that will take you somewhere else. But I don't think energy is the only ingredient, as there are energetic people who go around and don't actually achieve much. As I came to this craft from photography and poetry, which do not have texture as such, they don't have surfaces which you can touch, I consequently like clay as a medium, because you can put your hands in it and feel that you've done something creative. Let's go on to the forge, from the soil to crystal. Then afterwards you go to bronze. Truthfully, I felt that I'd become an artist only when I got hold of something and created it with my hands. In a way, I returned to my roots. I went back to the photograph where I found the Murano glass. I've been going to Venice for years. What glass has is exactly what you want to achieve with clay, but it leaves a velvet surface. And clarity? Yes. Is clarity purity? Is clarity the truth? The truth is nothing, you know. Are you afraid of the truth, or do you love it? No, I've touched it like a liar. The truth has a threat inside it. Do you dare listen to the truth? Then, as you know, you'll be told a big lie, or you'll be told something bad. Do you then want to be told the truth? Yes, I want it if it concerns the real truth. The joy which you have to create something new diminishes if you think every minute that somebody's going to judge it, buy it, or take it. The poetic piece is that which you create at your studio. When it leaves you, it goes to the butchers, as you know. That is to say that when the art piece leaves you, it's like a child, which you dismiss, or your child who's been adopted by somebody else, but you still have his or her image in your mind. Do you lose anything? When you're a new artist and your artworks leave you slowly but surely, you think you cannot recreate them, feeling that you lose a part of yourself. When, however, you carry on working and creating, it is as if you're sending them away. Do you care about their destiny? Yes, of course. You don't want a bad person who you hate to have your creation on display and to look at it every day. It's as if he's in charge of your karma. How can I say it? Because it's part of you, but you don't lose out in the end. You are giving after all. Are you saying that the more you give, the more you create? Consequently, you change who you are. How many times are you Philip? However many times possible. That is to say, as long as there are new ones, I will find them inside of me. Although I think the root is one, namely you come out of one root strong enough, the branches develop, and as long as you water them and give them light, so a big strong tree will grow.